Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about my reading plan for January, which coincides with Bible Bootcamp, which my last video was about. So for Bible Bootcamp, you can read whatever you want to read as long as it's for 30 minutes a day. I wrote this exegetical study guide for Mark for my own personal use, and I included it in the Bible Bootcamp guide, which is linked in the description below if you're interested in checking it out. So essentially what this is it's a breakdown of each chapter that I'll be studying based on the day. And I'm going to go over what that is. This video is also going to kind of give a brief overview of how I do contextual research before I dive into a specific text, just so that I kind of know what's going on and have a good understanding of, the nuances in the text as I read. So that's pretty much it. I have some resources here that I'm going to show you as well. And let's go ahead and dive into it. So whenever I approach a new book of the Bible, I like to do two things. I like to do some contextual research, and then I like to skim over the entire book so I have a good idea of what the book's message is, so that when I go in to break it down verse by verse, I don't misinterpret or misapply what's going on or what's being said. So in my study guide of Mark, the first thing I'm going to be doing is watching a specific teaching and taking notes on that teaching. This teaching is just a Gospel of Mark, a quick overview, and it's on YouTube. It's free, so if you want to look that up and watch it, you totally can. On day 2 and 3, I'm going to be reading through the book of Mark, kind of reading it quickly like a novel so that I have a general overview of what's going on. And then on day 4, I'm going to listen to the Bible Project's lecture called God's Kingdom Has Arrived. And that's kind of the overarching view, or message of Mark. It's all about God's kingdom, and Christ is bringing the kingdom. So I'm excited to listen to that. And then on day 5, I'm going to dive into Mark chapter 1. It's going to take a little bit of time because, as I'll show you, there's a lot of commentary going on. So I have 2 days here for Mark 1 just to kind of give me some breathing room for all the contextual research that's going to go into that first chapter. I will also be referring to my double column journaling Bible, which is already filled up with notes for Mark. So I will be looking at my notes to kind of see how Mark impacted me a couple of years ago when I dove into it. And as you can see here, I didn't finish. So this year I am excited to actually finish Mark. I will be using a different Bible for this study. I will be using my single column journaling Bible. I like the single columns because there's just a little bit more space to take notes, and there's just more opportunity to dive deeper, and I'm excited to do that. For contextual research, I'm using 3 sources this year, 2 commentaries and then a study Bible. So the first commentary I'm using is Mark for Everyone by N.T. Wright. I really enjoy N.T. Wright. I think his historical perspective is really interesting and really helpful. I don't always agree with N.T. Wright on everything he says, but I don't really agree with one person specifically. I don't just agree with one person on every single thing that they say, but I do like to learn from a variety of scholars, and N.T. Wright's someone I like to turn to. I also like this commentary because it is short. As you can see, it's just a few pages and it's really small. So I'm excited about that. It'll be straight into the point without a ton of extra information that I don't need for my personal study. The other commentary I'll be using is Sproul's commentary on Mark. This is a lot more in depth. So I probably won't be reading this in depth. I'll be using it more as a reference for when I have questions and I don't understand something. I know that this will have an explanation because it is such an in-depth exegetical commentary. As you can see, it is just so long and super detailed. So I'm excited for that. And then I will also be using my HCSB study Bible that I've had for over 10 years now, but it has served me well. It has tons of info, lots of cross-references, which sometimes I like to stay away from cross-references for different reasons, but it is sometimes good to have those. I like the maps and everything that the study Bible provides, so I'll be using that as well. And then how I use all these resources is I will read Mark chapter 1, and as I read it, I will consult the commentaries. So let's open chapter 1 here. This chapter 1 of Sproul's commentary is regarding Mark 1, 1 through 8. So I'll read Mark chapter 1, verses 1 through 8. Then I will consult the commentary, and then I will circle or underline whatever I find to be very important. And then I will take my notes from there. Similarly, N.T. Wright has broken his down in a similar fashion. His is Mark 1 through 8. So I will just read it according to how the commentaries are broken down to make it as easy and simple as possible. Sometimes this will take me, 20 minutes, especially if I'm only reading a short section. Sometimes this will take an hour. I kind of just let it go as long as it needs to go, unless I have a lot of stuff to do that evening or that day. So yeah, that's just a basic overview of how I will be studying Mark in the month of January. If you have any questions or would like to drop any advice that you might have regarding Bible study or specifically the book of Mark, I would love to hear that. Otherwise, I will see you in my next video. I will be uploading a overview of all the books that I'm going to be reading in 2023, including all of the books of the Bible that I will be studying. So I'm really excited about that, and hopefully I will see you soon.